That's absolutely fascinating, this kind of move towards patient centricity, I guess. Are there any other kind of barriers? I know previously I've seen you talking about language being a kind of barrier to patient access. Would you care to expand on that?
Sure, Mark. I think this is great. Thank you for. In fact, I'm going to call myself out because I already used the language in a way that could be actually not as patient centric. So we talk about designing clinical trial, primary endpoint, secondary endpoint, patient reported outcomes. So patients that have lived through the disease, if and specifically if it's a rare disease, they're not thinking in the terms of, oh, primary endpoint, secondary endpoint, patient reported outcomes. They're looking at, hey, is this product going to work? So we don't even speak about efficacy. We don't speak about effectiveness. We speak about, the trust that a patient can have in that therapy, and the trust that they have in taking the medicine, but also in the treatment pathway and process. And so already we need to de-tech and de-jargon our language, which we're very familiar with inside industry, both pharma and healthcare industry, and really use the language of patients. So does this product work? Is it inconvenient for me to be a part of this clinical trial? Or is it inconvenient to me to be in this study? It sounds very interesting. I think I'm going to get better care as a result of this clinical trial, but is it a hassle for me? Things like, does this require hospitalization to be a part of the clinical trial? Will you fund that process? So making these things in the consent forms very, very clear about the commitment that's required of a patient when they are actually enrolling in a trial. Of course, co-designing as well. So I think this part about, the design phase and then further on in access as well, we have to de-jargon our language, and we have to really meaningfully have a partnership and conversation where we listen to understand what is the language, what is the experience that this patient is going through, what is truly the pathway that they have through a healthcare system, through the diagnostic process, through the treatment process, the duration of time that they have to wait for a diagnosis, for example, and then how do we embrace that understanding and design something together with them that actually makes sense in their language.